How to sing well if you started late in life. Today's video, it is going to be especially relatable and extremely useful if you are someone who have not been singing since young. That means you're not a singer, that you have started singing since 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. Maybe you have only started singing a while ago, maybe during your teenage years. Maybe you're already an adult, you're 20 plus, 30 plus, and you have just only started learning how to sing a while ago. It can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, right? For adult, it is still late in life. As long as you started learning singing after you're 13 years old.
Oh my god.
You started learning singing after your puberty. Most likely that's what happened. That is how I define late in life. Because by the end of this video, you'll understand the 3 things that you must have, that you need to have in order for you to become a great singer, even if you started out late in life. And whatever I'm going to tell you today, it is backed up by my own experience. Go ahead and watch my singing transformation video if you have not done so after this video. And when you truly apply these 3 things to your own singing, you realize that starting late in life is not an excuse for you to throw away your dream as a singer. You realize that any reasons that you give yourself to justify the fact that you can't be a good singer because you started out late in life, it is nothing more than a mere distraction, a mere fucking excuse that you are giving yourself to make yourself feel better. So let's get right into these 3 things you have to apply today. Hey, it's JJ here, and if this is your first time watching my videos, what I do is I help singers like you unlock your high notes fast by showing you how you can access your high complete mixed voice vocal placement. So if that sounds like you, then go ahead, hit the subscribe button down below and let's get started. Now, you see, the reason why most people who started out singing later on in life will never succeed as a singer is because, number 1, it is always easier to sing high notes when we are young, because most of us, we know this. One of the number 1 troubles that we have as adults trying to learn how to sing, especially if you are male, even including females, is that the high notes becomes impossible. Like, how am I supposed to sing all those high notes that those great singers are singing? I've gone through puberty. I'm no longer a little boy or little girl. How do I do so? And if you understand this, I've said this before somewhere, that our high placement, it is easier for us to access it and to master it when we're younger. This explains why singers like Bruno Mars, like Ariana Grande, like Dimash, when they started singing since young, they have already found their high placement since young intuitively. They don't have to learn how to do it through a method, through a course, through afterwards learning. They just do it intuitively as kids, which we have really lost the advantage, but no worries, we can always gain it back by learning a step-by-step approach to access your high placement, which you can find in the description box down below. Now, the second reason why we often can't become great singers as adults is simply because the expectation of society for us to do the right things at the right age. Like, I don't know which society you came from or you come from, but I think generally throughout the entire world, if you're watching this, regardless of which part of the world you're watching this from, we have this general consensus that as an adult, if let's say you're past 15, you're past 18 years old, you shouldn't be learning how to sing. You should be getting like a degree and go and get a job or something, and not learning how to sing. Like, what? Singing is like for babies, for like kids, right? You do that when you're younger. It's not for adults. You should be getting a job, getting a degree, right? The society expects us to be working and not to be singing. Like, what? Right? To raise a family, not to like sing? Like, what the hell is singing?
Oh, hell no!
That's what the society, the broad society, likes to think, likes to reflect, likes to push on us. But the truth is this, as long as you're above 18 years old and you want to learn how to sing, guess what? You have to defy the expectation and follow your heart, follow your true calling, what you really want to do, where your passion lies in. What other people say. Because guess what? After you've accessed your high placement, you can still learn how to sing fast and use the high placement as a leveling field for you to get better faster. Now, the first thing that you need in order to sing well, if you have started later on in life, is that you need a good vocal coach or consistent source that you can learn from. Listen carefully, I didn't say learn from multiple sources. I didn't say learn, try to go all over a place and find and to, duct tape all kinds of things and try to learn that way. No! Please don't do that to yourself if you want to succeed as a singer. Because most of us, when we started late in life, we've already dug a hole for ourselves. What do I mean? We often, through our years of not singing, we have already developed some bad vocal habits, including speaking and talking and singing in a low placement. So whatever you're practicing, if you don't get an enlightenment of the high placement, is that you'll just be reinforcing what's wrong. Because if you practice in a low placement multiple times, you'll be strengthening and associating singing with the low placement, doing all the wrong things. Instead, what you have to do is to find one consistent source. And I know some of you might do this. Go to YouTube and try to find all different kinds of videos from different coaches. The problem is this: you're not going to learn much by doing so, simply because as a beginner, you have no idea what the fuck is right and what the fuck is wrong. So therefore, what would you do? You look at all the different videos and you'll be fucking confused at the end of a video. Instead, find one consistent source. It could be a particular channel, it could be a particular vocal coach. If you're willing to pay the money to learn from a coach, learn from one of them, and don't try to learn from different coaches, because you'll get confused as fuck simply because you wouldn't know which coach is saying the right things and which coach is saying the wrong things. But you see, here's the irony: if you know my backstory, I've learned from over 13 different vocal coaches. But right now I'm telling you, don't do that, just focusing on one. But why am I doing this? You see, that is because my first ever vocal coach, he got me real good. What do I mean? It's like, you know, when you're in a relationship and you trust your partner so much, but in the end, unfortunately, they cheated on you. And because of the kind of pain you are bearing with you, you know, some of us, we might start slipping around, start doing dangerous sexual activities, one night stands, whatever, hooking up, whatever it is, simply just to get over the pain. Well, guess what? I did the same thing, but for singing. In a sense that because afterwards I realized that my first ever vocal coach, he's teaching me all the wrong things, right? All the useless, irrelevant things. And that makes my voice even worse. Once I realized that, I got so mad that I realized that no, I don't trust ain't nobody anymore. And I'm like, I'm gonna start learning from different vocal coaches. I'm gonna start learning from different sources and use my own brain, the own intellect to determine who's right and who's wrong, right? If you know my backstory. Now the good thing about me doing all this is that it has allowed me to become a better vocal coach, because I've seen the different perspective of different coaches and the different learnings from different coaches and what they teach and whether it makes sense or not. But if you're a singer and you have no intention of becoming a vocal coach, then trying to learn from multiple sources is doing nothing but killing you. What do I mean? Because if you understand this, nowadays, if you want to become a singer, if you want to become actually a famous singer, a well-known singer, what's important is this: you have to be discovered when you're young. Right now, I'm going to just name some of the top names, right? Anyone: Shawn Mendes, Olivia Rodrigo, Harry Styles, Niall Horan, Louis Tomlinson, Zayn Malik. All these great singers, when are they being found? When they're young, when they're teenagers, before they turn 18. Billie Eilish or Billie Eilish. So if you want to be a great singer, you want to be a well-known singer, and then you're just wasting your time learning from different coaches, by the time you get that done, you're way past the age of being discovered as a singer. Does that make sense? Now, the other reason is this. Initially, I didn't want to be a vocal coach. Initially, I just wanted to become a singer. But because now, after learning from so many coaches, I learned so much, I know so much, I feel like it is my duty, it is my own responsibility, it is my calling on this world to be able to teach vocals, to be able to impact the life of singers and help singers to get onto the stage and be the better singers that they are destined to be. Because once you know so much, you'll be very tempted. What do I mean? You'll be tempted to become a coach. For me, since young, I loved teaching. Teaching is just what I love to do, especially if you have that tendency in you as well. You just deviate from becoming an actual singer, and you'll start to want to become a coach. And hence, that's kind of what happened to me. So the moral of the story that I'm trying to convey here is this: take a bit of time to find a good vocal coach, one that you can actually relate to, one that actually understands your troubles, have gone through your journey, gone through your path, but have come out victorious on the other side. Find a coach like this for yourself, because then you'll be able to learn the fastest from the coach's own experience and the coach's own mistakes that he or she have made in the past. Does that make sense? And also, if you're truly serious about learning how to sing, get a vocal coach. I don't mean buy a course. The course, right? Go and get a vocal coach. And now I know you might say things like, oh, but I've no money. Well, guess what? When I was a teenager, I had no fucking money as well. But I worked my ass off. I did part-time jobs, right? I did all kinds of weird part-time jobs to gain the money, right? In order to pay for vocal lessons. Because guess what? If there's no skin in the game, you have already lowered your chance to success to 0.
Period.
The truth is this, there is no great singer that you know. I dare you, I challenge you to put in the comment section that he or she have not ever had a vocal coach before. Just by watching YouTube videos, just by watching courses, he or she become a world famous singer. He or she become a reputable singer, a famous singer. Prove me wrong. That is 0. Absolute fucking fat 0. All the singers that we love, all the singers who are famous, who are out there, who are killing it, they have had vocal lessons, they have had vocal coaches. If you have your dreams set out right there and you have no money, stop making fucking excuses, get a part-time job, do whatever the fuck it takes to go ahead and pay for vocal lessons. Get a coach. It doesn't have to be me. Just go and find a coach that actually fits your needs, because without a coach, it is impossible that you become a great singer. Dimash has a vocal coach, Ariana Grande has a vocal coach, Bruno Mars has a coach, Shawn Mendes has a coach. Everyone, all the great singers has a coach. If those singers who have started singing since young, if even they need a coach, what makes you think that you don't need a coach?
Huh?
Doesn't make sense at all, does it? The second thing that you need is to start taking up the mindset of a child. What do I mean? Whenever you're practicing, whenever you're learning, I want you to enjoy the process. Don't compare yourself with other people or whatsoever and drop that fucking ego, because until you can be focused on yourself, you're not going to be able to improve. And as long as you care about what other people say and you are very concerned about external feedback, then guess what? You're not going to improve. Because if you're so concerned about what other people say, if other people say your singing sucks, guess what? You're gonna get affected. Now f that shit. So what if your singing sucks? So what? As long as you put in the hard work, you access your high placement. Go for it. Experiment singing like a child. Don't be worried. The reason why great singers like Ariana Grande, like Dimash, like Bruno Mars, the reason why they got good since young is because as a kid, they just experimented. They didn't look at each other and say, why are you better than me? Why are you worse than me? No. They just enjoy the process and eventually they become good. Adopt the mindset of a kid. Be okay with making mistakes. If your voice breaks, it's fine. It's just all mistakes that we all have to make and go through. My voice broke like a fucking 10,000 times. I'm fine in the end. It's fine, right? Don't be so harsh on yourself. Take the mindset of a child. Because the truth is, you are gonna suck. But each time you practice, each time you lock into your high placement, and you just do repetitions in your high placement, guess what? You're gonna suck less and less. And each time you suck less and less, eventually you realize, hey, actually I don't suck at singing as much anymore.
Yay me!
It's an amazing feeling, and I believe you'll be able to reach there one day, as long as you keep going and don't let other people dictate who you are. You have your own life. You dictate what you want to do. Does that make sense? Now the last thing that you need to have in order to sing well, even if you started late in life, is the idea of repetitions. Why? Simply because all those naturally born talented singers, Dimash, Ariana Grande, Bruno Mars, Harry Styles, any other great singers, right? All these great singers, you don't realize this. You don't realize that the amount of repetitions they went through is crazy. The amount of times they sang that high note, they have tried singing that high note in the high placement is so many times. A lot of times you only look at them slaying it on a stage, but you don't realize the amount of hard work, the amount of repetitions they put in. So guess what? Actually, this point should be common sense. Even if all those singers, they need repetitions, what makes you think you don't need repetition? But most of the time, people, they wouldn't realize it. Some people, they might think this way. Oh, as long as I find my magical mixed voice, I'll instantly be very good. That is what I believe so in the past. And how I wish it was true.
Oh my god.
If really finding mixed voice is so easy, then everybody just buy a course, go for a vocal lesson, and then ta-da! But the truth is, it can be easy, but it is not as easy as what you perceive it to be, right? The most magical thing I can think of is the high placement. The only switch that exists is from a low placement you switch to a high placement. That will give you the biggest switch you will ever experience your entire singing process, your entire singing journey, to learning how to sing well, sing high notes well. From then onwards is where you have to do repetitions after repetitions after repetitions in your high placement. Does that make sense to you? And remember this, you're not doing anything extra that those talented singers they didn't go through. You are merely doing it at a later age. They have done through all the repetitions when they are young. Oh, you're not doing anything extra. Don't worry yet, you're not even doing anything extra. In fact, you need to do more. Logically, you need to do more than that, right? Since you started late in life. But the truth is, a lot of times we think that we're doing more. No, you haven't even clocked the amount of hours that those singers have practiced. How can you be good, right? So find your high placement, access your high placement first, your high complete mixed voice vocal placement, and then do repetitions after repetitions in your high placement. So once again, to sum all this up, if you want to be a singer, right, it doesn't matter if you want to be if you're an aspiring singer, if you are professional in your field and you are learning how to sing well, if you're a hobby singer, if you're a serious hobby singer who want to sing very well, it doesn't matter which type of singer you are, as long as you want to sing well. What's important is you have to know these three things. Find a consistent source, a vocal coach if you will, to learn from. Number 2, take up the mindset of a child and don't be afraid to make mistakes or what other people think about you or what other people talk about you. Their opinions. You do you, you will get better. Alright, and lastly but not least, number 3, repetitions and repetitions and repetitions in your high placement. If you can truly understand what I said today and you can do these 3 things from today onwards, I guarantee you, no matter how fucking untalented you think you are, no matter how late you are as a singer in your life, it doesn't matter. I don't care whether you're 20, you're 30, 40, 50, 60, I don't give a fuck. I know that if you can follow those 3 things, you will definitely be able to become a great singer, a singer with a voice that's going to touch your audience. So I hope that I gave you singers out there who have started late in life some good advice today, because personally I'm one of them. I didn't start when I was young. Whatever advice I've told you today are the same exact advice that I would have told the younger version of me years ago, so that he doesn't have to go through the same mistakes that the past me have gone through. Because in the past, I really wish someone would have told me these 3 things. Because guess what? In the past, I just learned from a lot of different vocal coaches, right? Good or bad, just all over the place. Number 2, I was very, whenever someone said my singing wasn't good, I'll take it personally and everything. That shit. But do listen to your vocal coach, right? But if other people just, yeah, I'm good, I feel good, but I'm going to practice. Now, lastly, repetitions. Back then, I just mix voice, flip a switch, and good. No, find a high placement and then do repetitions and repetitions, right? If I spend more time doing repetitions than looking for the next magical vocal exercise, wow, if only someone told me that, I could have improved way faster back then. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead, hit the thumbs up button down below. And if you'd like to book a vocal lesson with me, my team's email is in the description box down below. Email them to fill up an application form to work with me. Alright, I've got to go now, and I'll see you again in another video.